there, it's me, Joe List. Welcome to the Mindful Metal Jacket podcast. I want to apologize for the crudity of this intro. I don't have the time or energy right this second to set up my tripod and my Zoom recorder, so you're getting just shaky cell phone footage and audio. I hope that's okay. You guys are always so kind. I hope I'm not taking advantage of what kind fans you are. And I also have to just warn you that this episode, the audio is a little wonky. I'm not sure what happened. We recorded it on the road in Austin, Texas, in my Airbnb. The episode features Sarah Tollemache and Kerryn Feehan. I'm sure you've already seen that in the intro. It's always funny when the intro, you're like, here's who I'm talking to. But you already know that, and you know them. They've both been on the show. And now we're all on together, and it's a great episode. I apologize that the audio is a little funky. We did everything we could to make it the best we could. But we were on the road, and it happens sometimes. But I think it's okay. I think it'll be fine if you just, it doesn't take long to get used to audio that's not perfect. And people complain about audio a lot. I'm trying to get better. This was one time only. So hopefully you enjoy it, because the contents were great. And if you're watching on YouTube, we look great. We're all on a big couch. It's adorable. And it's a fun episode. We had a lot of laughs, and a lot of mental health was discussed, and we had a great time. Make sure you check out Sarah Tollemache and Kerryn Feehan. Feehan's podcast, Only Feehans, is great. I've been on there. And of course, Lady Journey with Sarah Tollemache and Katie Hannigan. Follow Sarah at Tollemache, her last name with S, and Feehan, maybe just at Kerryn Feehan. I don't know, but I think so. You probably already follow these guys. They're awesome. Love them both. Glad they're on the show. I think it's a good episode. I think you're going to like it. Thanks for being here. Make sure you subscribe, tell a friend, share, comment, post it on Reddit, post it on Twitter, the link that is, all that stuff. And bring more people in. Spread the word. And May 2nd, I will be at the Regent Theater in Los Angeles, California. I also got a bunch of dates coming up. Springfield, Missouri next week. Raleigh, North Carolina in a few weeks. And a bunch more coming up. A bunch of fun dates. Go to punchuplive.com or comedianjoelist.com. And be kind to yourself. Be kind to me. And we'll see you out there. Now, enjoy this conversation between me, Sarah Tollemache, Kerryn Feehan, two hilarious and beautiful ladies, and me. Enjoy.
We're live. We're back. It's so hard with the baby. I just want to talk like this.
We have to whisper because the baby's in the nice room.
This is going to be a whispering podcast.
Yeah, it's fine.
I think this is fun. I wish you guys were in sweatpants. You guys are like dressed and made.
I didn't bring any sweatpants.
I didn't
about
either.
leggings. And I stayed in them yesterday.
Yeah.
You guys were. Let's talk about how you guys were dressed identically yesterday, incidentally.
I hope you have the photo to put in the insert to show the proof.
I'll insert the photo. That's what I'll do.
Yes. Pop up here.
Yeah.
It was crazy how identical we were, though.
Yeah.
Are you hosting?
Nope.
Yes.
Welcome to Mindful Metal Jacket, everybody. 2 past guests, past winners, and now we're all together. The big 3. The old gang.
It's still like a talking threesome.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Phone call.
Wow.
Oh, it's my fucking bank. Let's talk finance. Do you guys know what you're doing? Do you have any idea?
How do you invest money?
Yes.
Kerryn?
I have a CD.
Okay.
And I have an IRA Roth account.
I have that.
That's all I have.
Retirement.
Yeah,
I have a SEP IRA.
because you have sepsis.
Yeah.
You're infected.
What's sepsis?
It's like staph infection.
Is that a joke? You're making fun of me. I'm
This is septic pain. That's why you're.
I'm a complete fucking idiot. And then the bank calls and like, we want to do Scooby Boo. And I feel like I'm just getting I'm like, yeah, okay.
I have to say, if you want to embezzle money, do it from stand-ups.
Yeah.
I feel like you could take all their money and they would have no idea.
Yeah.
Oh, I say this all the time. I'm the person to rip off, like my manager and agent and stuff, my accountant. I'm like, they just go, you owe this much. And I'm like, this, okay.
Every time.
Yeah.
They just keep taking money out of my account every month. Like, we're doing this work. I'm like, I guess you are.
Yeah, sure.
I have 2 friends that are like suing the same accountants because like they're bad people. I'm like,
It's the same accountant who set my tax up to Mike Feeney.
I moved my actual track here. But particularly people that come from very blue collar backgrounds and become successful. Like I don't even know a person who had a savings account.
No.
Like no, my family.
Let's just say like a savings account doesn't do anything. It's like because it's a 0.05% interest rate.
Yeah, which I never understood.
It's like nothing. You got to put it in a
Stocks.
Index fund. Yeah.
Index fund. Do the stock.
I do. I have this thing called Acorns, and it pulls out $5 every week.
But you're my mom.
Yeah, they don't know where it goes, and then I hope by the time I'm 50, I have like $1 million. That's what I think is going to happen. That I have
This is girl birthday money. It's girl math.
It is.
It's called Acorns. So I give them dollars.
Now let's talk. We got to get into some mental health because people keep telling me my show goes off the rails. One guy was like, "The show is good when it's good, but it's rarely good." And he's like, "You and Matt Salkis are just debating whether or not Rick Rubin plays guitar for 10 minutes," which I thought was entertaining. But they're like, "Where's the mental health?" So let's get down. Let's get dirty. Let's get in.
What do you want to know?
I want to know, when you guys are masturbating, do you think about me? No. Wait. What are you guys like? What's your poison? Insecurity, depression? I know you better. Kerryn, do you get depressed?
Sure.
Like right now, today?
No, today I feel great because I just crushed a 60-minute workout. That's what it really takes. I suffered a lot during that workout, so I feel very self-righteous right now.
Well, it's like I've been told that walking is really good for you, but I don't feel like it does anything because I don't feel any pain from it.
Yeah, because you're a runner.
Yeah,
to suffer.
I have to suffer to make it feel like it's a workout.
Yeah, that's why we do anal. After anal, Sarah feels fantastic.
To get pegged.
What? Don't you find pegging in the missionary position to be particularly like isn't that particularly like
emasculating?
Yeah, just
because it's like the girl's baby diapering you.
Yeah.
It's just we watched that show, and Sarah and I are not opposed to really graphically sexual gay films. We love Stranger by the Lake. We talk about
it's like a porn with an amazing plot.
It's really fantastic.
Gay porn.
One time we watched a movie. You recommended a movie, and I was like, "You got it. Let's watch it." And like 8 minutes said it was a guy getting plowed from the missionary position. Just 2 minutes missionary fucking. I was like, all right.
Well, that was fun.
It was with.
I should have let me or Matt Wayne.
No, it was the guy. You did a sketch class with him. He was in The Office in the later years. And
Zach Woods.
Yeah.
It was like a little independent movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was a good movie or something. I don't want to disparage. But anyways.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
So you think exercise is your main deterrent to depression?
Yeah. Well, I always feel like, when you have your friends that are like so depressed and then you're like, well, why don't you exercise? And I just feel like Tom Cruise from that Matt Lauer interview with the postpartum depression with Brooke Shields, where he's like, just work out.
Well, yeah. And then you want me to kill him.
Yeah.
I kind of remember you saying that, but yeah.
Where he called Matt Lauer glib, but little did we know that Matt Lauer was like office raping everybody.
That's true. There's a little secret written about your stuff.
I just think he's like accused of rape.
He wasn't. I just like to use flamboyant language.
That's fun. Yeah. Just throw him right under the bus. Just accuse him of the worst crime ever.
She said rape. She said office
raping.
Office rape.
That's different. That's different. You grab a saber and you go,
Well, we are officially demonetized from this episode.
Bleep it. Bomb right out.
I thought we made it past the 10-minute threshold. Isn't it? If you're like,
that's what I thought. Yeah, you
good for the first.
And you can't say the C word up top.
Right. I commented on my special. Yeah, my special got fucked because I said the C word.
Yeah.
No, you guys, I just found this out about you, Kerryn, that you suffer from asthma. And did you know that Sarah had crippling asthma as a child?
How did you correct it?
And grew out of it.
Wow, so my mom grew out of her.
I smoked cigarettes too later.
Mm.
And I also heard something like cigarette smoking can actually relax.
It can, because of the stimulant. Yeah.
Well,
it's just like the little fibers in your whatever sticking up, and a cigarette will like calm down.
Yeah.
And it can be an expectorant too, which like gets shit out of you, which makes you breathe.
So cigarette, I think everyone should smoke.
Newports.
Yeah. Did you ever smoke, Kerryn?
I smoked Camel Lights when I was in my drinking days.
Yeah. Mine was Marl Lights.
Mhm.
I never smoked. I'm a good boy.
Oh, I still miss it.
But when we went to Paris, I was like, I'm going to get cigarettes because we're in Paris and that's what you can do.
Yeah.
And Sarah just fucking whacked back a pack of cigarettes in like 45 minutes. And it's like, oh. It's like the equivalent of when people are like, let's get in an open relationship. And then his girlfriend fucks 3 women. And we're like, oh, I didn't know. The 3 men.
In Paris, there's like mimes, like, oh, which one you want? She's like double fisted cigarettes.
Have you been to Paris, Kerryn?
Once in high school, I loved Paris.
You gotta go back.
I know. What'd you say? Je parle français très bien.
Oh,
You're so good.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I can speak French very well.
Oh.
Oh.
Do you ever speak to Mateo? He
Not
speaks
at
all language.
I know. He's too smart.
Annoying.
He would like correct my grammar. I mean, he would do a gay hate crime. No, he really wouldn't. Yeah, I would just think maybe he might. I never spoken French to him.
Mateo is one of those people that is just unbelievably talented.
Yeah.
It's intimidating.
Now, how often are you guys jealous of other people? How often do you act their way? Like,
Do you mute people on Instagram?
Yeah,
How many have you muted?
maybe like 5.
Yeah.
Maybe
that's not bad. Men, women.
women.
Yeah.
I'm not jealous of men.
No, I'm not jealous of that either. Maybe I am. Every now and then I get mad that certain guy comics, a lot of male video guys are like, I'll do your shit for free. I feel like I never get offered to do anything for free on my part.
Wait, what do you mean?
I don't want to name names because it's not fair to them. But like, there's a lot of guy videographers. Like, I think Salacuse does a lot of free.
Oh, but he's just a nice guy. He'll do your stuff for free.
I'm sure you will. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of video guys that do free stuff for other male comics, and they're not reaching out to the female comics to do content for them.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, Salacuse will do anything for you. Matt Salacuse, our previous guest, who was unbelievable. People love the episode. You guys, he's a tough act to follow. Matt Salacuse, I hired to shoot a film, like a feature film, for like 4 days. He was like, nah, don't pay me for it.
Isn't that crazy?
That's insane.
But I think
But he needs that for money or something.
no, he doesn't. I think he has artist housing, and I think he makes really good money shooting photography. I think photography, when you get to a level, they're like, we'll give you $30,000 to shoot fucking,
An eyeshadow through.
Robert De Niro or whatever the hell. But
Yeah, my ex's mom owned this magazine, Stringers, that was all makeup artists and fashion photographers. Yeah, they're rich as hell.
But I have this thing too. Sometimes you catch yourself when you're like actively jealous of somebody and you're like, this isn't helping anybody.
No,
And that's like, my life wouldn't be better if this person was failing.
And I also know it's that person is like, they're all good people. So I'm never like, why did it, you know what I mean? Like, I get why they get the things they get.
Well, that's why it's so,
I just feel like I should get things too.
Yeah.
that's why it's like so important to me to be around people. It's like, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Sometimes I'll spend like a day being like, fuck that motherfucker. And then I'll see them like at the club, and then you're like, hey, and then you wonder like, that guy's like the best.
Or they tell you something tragic about themselves and you're like, game changer.
You're like,
Yeah. Or they help you. Yeah. Or they like that you get like a drop off of their success. And like, I guess they're a good person.
Yeah. Don't you love it when that happens? Or like you're talking shit and then they'll hire you for something. Yeah. Like, I think great. Your stuff.
well, that's the thing that's so hard to remember in life in general, is that like, it sounds so cliche. It's like everybody's fighting their own battle. And it always feels like we're insecure and depressed and anxious and everybody else isn't. And a lot of people aren't open about it. So it's like such a relief to hear somebody say that and you're like, what? You have anxiety?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Like, I mean, all the time. I mean, we're talking about, we're currently in Austin at Comedy Mothership. And I feel like a wet spot. I think I peed my pants a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. You have a weak pelvic floor.
It was
And then pee right pants. You can't be peeing your pants already, Jelly. Yeah.
no. It's
My dad pees his pants after long drives.
I'm lazy. I trip. I just trip.
That's not good.
No, I've been driven my whole life.
All right.
He does pee, at the end of the night, it's pee spots, and sometimes they look like little countries.
I'll take my pants. It's so nice. I'll take
Like Australia, and then there'll be like New Zealand and Tasmania.
It's a version.
Yeah. I take my pants off, and it's just like half a gallon of piss and anyway. Well, here's the thing. I'm impatient. Just the U.S. have this. This is the old thing. No matter how much you wiggle and you dance, the last few drops end up in your pants.
Yeah. That's a cute rhyme.
The Bible.
T-shirt. Get that.
It's John 3:17. But I get impatient too because I always want to get back to the hang. When everyone's hanging or a party, I feel like I'm missing out. I want to get back out there. So
Where's that pee-pants guy? You gotta get it back out here.
I just leave some piss in there. The other girls are pissing all the time.
Oh, I tinkle all the time.
I do too. I tinkle when I cough too hard, or if I laugh, sneeze, or if I'm like rushing back to pee.
I went running yesterday, and I just was drenched in pee pants. And you know what's great? When you get older, I don't care anymore. I will go into a store immediately after my run with pee in my pants.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'm wearing this on a public forum.
In our neighborhood in Astoria once, I was at this CVS or Walgreens on the street. A lady literally just horse peed onto the floor in front of us and acted like it wasn't happening. And then I had to go to the dollar store across the street, and then she went in there after that, and I was like, good for you.
You should be a bad decision. I lied. That's hers. All these are mine.
But going back to being worrying and anxious and all this stuff and thinking nobody else is, we're in Austin at Comedy Mothership this weekend. I'm like headlining the weekend. It's sold out. And we're like walking in, and I'm like, oh, this is terrifying. Because there's cops and people, and you don't know if you're going to get recognized, and then you're getting ID, and then it feels embarrassing when like fans are lined up, and they're like, oh, hey, they're like taking photos, and then I walk over and trying to explain who I am. It's like so embarrassing.
I know.
Yeah.
It is kind of like, I feel like maybe they need to have a employee briefing, perhaps, before the evenings start.
Well, they recognized us, which was nice.
They did, but it would be a little, everyone did right away.
Well, so it's embarrassing because I will like occasionally be at the cellar, and we'd only get there for like once a week. So it's like the staff doesn't remember me. So every time I go in, they're like, where's your ticket? And it's so mortifying. It just like hurts my soul to be like, I'm on the show.
But I still have this there too. And this is exactly along the lines of what I'm talking about. So much of it is
the waitress's fault.
But it's
what they know who we are now.
It's all perception, because in your mind, you're like, it's easy to compile like, okay, they don't know who I am. No one knows who I am. I fucking failed.
Yeah, it's easy.
Meanwhile, this is just a person who got hired 3 months ago, and 500 people a night are just trying to sneak into the comedy cellar or walking into the comedy cellar. And it's just a matter of like, they didn't recognize you. And this is what I try to work on too, is like, not everything is such a slight. Yeah. But it's intimidating. We were at Mothership yesterday. We walk in, and Rob White is sitting there, and now...
Will you tell us your...
Yeah, that's what I'm telling. So now 6 months ago, I'm at Skankfest, and we had a little smokers tent, which was a blast. And we just smoked all these cigars, and it was like the highlight of the whole festival.
That was the hang.
And Ron White came in, and everyone's a little intimidated. No one really knows who he is, but he's just smoking. And we were already like telling old comedy stories, which of course I have a million, because I've been doing comedy for 58 years. And so I was telling like story after story, and I think everyone was just kind of timid, so no one else would tell a story. So I just kept telling stories, and like they're like my best of my career, best of stories, and they're like killing, and he's laughing. And then afterwards, Tom Dustin was like, "That was the funnest thing I've ever seen. That was the highlight of my festival, was watching you just kill for Ron White." And then last night we walk in, Ron White's there, and we've been talking about Key West. Kerryn just got back from Key West, and I walk in, and I'm like, "Hey, Ron." Chill this. We were hanging out in Key West. I was killing with all this. I literally said, I was telling stories. I was chilling. And he goes, Key West. No, never been there. And now I turn her.
Like the person that won't be like, oh, yeah.
He's like, oh, shit. I turn, and Kerryn, I just see her ponytail. She got this out the door. Here's the deal.
It went through my body. I was like, oh, this is wrong.
And we had literally been on the sidewalk, like pet talking, like, you stepped on me, I'm with you. And
You're right. I bailed.
You were fucking out.
I couldn't date it. I couldn't do anything in that moment except leave.
Blaming her. I was like, she was just in Key West, like completely, and she's gone. But we were like, she had an 8:25, I had a 10:15. I was like, I'll come early if you stay late. We gotta stand by each other.
Yeah.
It's group, but
Yeah. I think we psyched ourselves out too much. I think it was less intimidating than we even expected.
Well, I'd never been there when Joe wasn't there. Joe himself, even though he's a friend of mine, is of course intimidating, but he also travels with sometimes celebrities and sometimes security, and then it's very particular who can go on the green. I had never been there when he wasn't there, which is much more.
What's also like that place projects that like you have to kill.
Yeah.
And there's no room for like building up or like a storytelling situation. You know what I mean? Like there's no room to experiment, it feels like, in the first year of being there.
Yeah, which is how we feel about the cellar as well. But it's a similar thing, like a lot of lines of what I'm talking about is like, I'm like sitting there, I go to the other, we literally left the green room. I'm like, I can't ever see Raleigh again in my life. And again, I thought he was going to be like, there's the
Grand Weinstein. I feel like he never remembers.
well, you think he's going to be like, there's the guy from fucking Skyfire. Yeah. And so then we just hit in the small room. And in my mind, I'm like, that thought keeps popping back into my head. Like, I'm a fucking idiot. But Ron White, I'm sure, has just cruised on down the road.
Yeah. He's had probably 10 million weirder incidents. I also feel like that you could just make that your thing with him going forward.
Get rest.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Now, how often have you ever had this? Kerryn and Sarah will work left to right or right to left if you're watching on TV. Have you ever had a thing where you're like horrified, you feel terrible, and then you apologize or bring it up and the person's like, what?
Yeah, and I stopped doing that. Apologizing. I think sometimes it can make it worse. Because now they're responsible for your feelings when it's something that wasn't like that big of a deal.
I think you're right.
Kerryn, you have this
I'm
experience?
trying to think of an example. I know what you're saying. Like there's no example that's really coming.
Kerryn's like, I only had the opposite. I'm like, that was no big deal. Like, you burned my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens to me sometimes. Like, you don't remember. Well, I mean, first of all, like my drinking like days, I would do and say things I fully do not remember. And come out to me and be like, da da da.
They were all alcoholics, so fun.
Yeah. But as far as like being sober and having those, I have not sober. I still smoke pot. But I don't know. I can't think of a specific example. I really wish I could.
I feel like when you're drinking or like in the alcoholic phase, you don't realize what you did was rude. Like my sense of humor would be like, and then I'm just realizing I feel like I'm calling out the elephant in the room for the like it's all going to make everyone laugh, but actually what I just did was a character assassination in front of the whole group.
Yeah.
And so I don't realize that until years later. And then I think I've done an apology in a DM. I did it once.
Yeah.
I felt really bad. In the improv, when I first started improv over 15 years ago, I didn't know you couldn't do bodily harm to another.
Well, does it say it in the syllabus?
I follow the guy.
I slapped him across the face and I got a good response. And then as years went by, I was like, that's actually really fucked up that he wasn't expecting that. That's not what you're supposed to do. And it made people laugh.
He's a man.
And so it was about maybe 7 years later that I was like, hey, I just like cringe by thinking about
And how you take the apology.
I didn't really think of he didn't think anything of it.
Wow.
And he's like, but he said, I appreciate you reaching out.
Yeah, I feel like people always appreciate it.
Yeah.
What? That's the thing that's interesting.
Hard on since you hit me. I was like,
Well, like in like 12-step programs, you make amends. And it's awkward because you have not awkward, but like it's interesting because some people are like, I don't even remember that. I don't even care about that. And then some people are like, yeah, that was horrible. You fucked up my life.
like, that's been the worst thing you did. And you're like, I forgive you this, but not for you for this. And you're like, fuck, I did that too.
Now, do you still have like outstanding people you think that?
Yeah, but I have no desire to make amends.
Right.
Because I have no desire to have a relationship with them.
Right. It was work to the bridge burner.
Without having a relationship? I'm not saying that you should do that.
No,
I just want to say that.
I worry if I tried that the person would, from what I know of them, they would try to like be my friend again.
Right.
And I don't want to be their friend.
And then you go like this, I'll make amends for this later, but I don't want to.
No, stop right there, buddy.
Yeah.
And have you ever had somebody make an amends to you, reach out to you and be like, I am fucking so sorry?
I have a Chloe LeBrand shows me like 10.
Sure. Or make it, where we go with that? All right,
She knows. The last time I saw her, she walked into the greeter with the stand. She's like, hey, Kerry. I'm like, it's Kerryn, and I still don't like you. She knows still.
That's funny. Well, I love Corey. She's the best.
She's a mess.
I didn't know about last night, but that's Kerry.
Oh my God. See, here, can I tell you that guy? He's a nice guy and did a great job. Mitch Spurrow. Shout out to him. Super funny.
Hilarious.
I noticed him, he was kept walking in and out, in front of me, a million times. And I had met him, I think, briefly before the last time I was here. And I was like, is he before me? Maybe he wants to ask how to pronounce my name or something. Yeah. So in retrospect, I feel like I could have solved that problem myself. I was like, oh, hey, it's Kerryn. It's me,
Yeah.
He's like, Kerryn, no big deal.
Yeah, but did he think the N was silent?
I've never met a style that. Oh.
And
Say I'm calling enough.
to the whole black community. Have you ever been a member of the black community before?
No, but I made an amends for a roast joke one time, and I don't want to allude to the roast joke, but it was about spicy meatball, and it was at a time when we weren't videoing things. It was a long time ago, and
right,
it was a different.
I think I know it.
It was a different landscape, and I made amends years later to Michael Che.
I was thinking we did cut to a video of Joe in blackface.
Blackface, and I'm like, but I made amends to Michael Che, and I was like, I feel bad, and he was like, I don't remember that, and I think that's hilarious. He's like, that's a great joke. So.
There you have it. Don't wake up.
Bad.
But, it's good.
But it was a raw. It's hard for people to remember, and fans of the show don't carry the way, but 10 years ago at a roast, you could really just people would say anything.
Yeah. Why?
And it's also crazy to think about how weird, because cameras existed, and then this might be off topic too, but it's crazy that we did a Nate Bargatze roast, and not one person filmed a second of it. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
It was Giannis, Norman. It's people are huge now. I think that would be the biggest video on the internet.
It would be.
Nobody even kind of was like, should we set up a camera?
Was it at the creek?
It was at the creek.
Yeah.
That was where I got and that was just totally off topic. I'm just bragging about jokes that I wrote. But the biggest laugh I've ever got in my career, I said, Giannis Pappas, we'd call it comedic genius. He wears a dress and says the N-word. Evidently, my mother's a comedic genius. But I had it blew the room apart. It was so big. It's a joke. My mother's never ever said anything like that.
That's very nice.
They were very sweet. Anyways, let's get back into some fucking mental health. How are you feeling about the shows this weekend, Kerryn? Do you get nervous? Are you an anxious person? You don't care? What
I do. I get a healthy amount of nervous, I think. I try not to psych myself out as much as I used to, because I can really. And if I psych myself out, my rhythm will be off. And once my rhythm's off, it's tough for me to.
Then you're flailing, speeding up, and then my upper lip goes like this.
Yep. All of it.
That's another one, though. Sometimes I'll see a performer and I'm like, oh, they're having a hard time right now. But I think a lot of times, I've had many times where I'm losing my mind and people are like, I didn't even notice. I recorded and set, I did great. I'm literally in the midst of a panic attack. Had a panic attack. Yes. And so
it's fun. Enjoy it. Because that's the thing that I make myself do. I'm like, this is fun for you. Don't forget to have fun, because even no matter what, just as long as you can get off, even if you bomb or whatever, at least if you can come off, be like, I went out there, tried to have fun for myself.
Well, I was also trying to tell myself that even if you kill, it doesn't matter.
Right.
I never get hired from a kill.
Right.
I just or they won't remember. Do you know what I mean? It was just be I had a good time that night.
It was a fun joke.
But you're not responsible for it. They don't give you,
That was one of Mitch Sparrow's jokes last night. where he was like, anything I'm killing, no one cares. He's like, sir, what's my name? He goes like, I don't know. And he's like, exactly.
So I was kind of mean. I thought we were going to get a bigger laugh when I went up because he kept like mentioning his name. It was like, if you guys can remember, it's Mitch Burrow, you can like follow me or whatever. My girl was like, yeah, my name's Kerryn, but I don't really need the followers of that. So, and I've been talking to pretty well. The audience went through, like they were on his side. They weren't really misogyny.
Why I always say misogyny when it doesn't work in my side?
I think that that those shows are tough, those long showcase shows, because the audience, I think there actually is a mental thing where the audience takes a moment to get used to a new person.
Sure.
I think even if it's subconscious, because they're watching somebody they love, oh, he's killing.
And then he's gone.
I know there's a new person.
And then there's a woman.
There's
nothing worse.
There's a weird psychological thing where people are like, okay, what's this? What's this person going to be? And you have like a second.
Slut. Okay. I like that.
Slut. Right. Started killing and things. Slumped her. It was totally fine. And they went crazy.
Once they could recognize me as slut.
Oh, I know this one. It's fun. Come for me.
We know this one. Yeah, this is the mac and cheese.
Well, it's kind of the expectations too, because we had Justin Gelrovar, who was off camera to shoot the show, produce the show. And it's funny because someone's like, oh, it's a camera guy from the Creek. I just thought it was going to be like a fat young nerd. I just pictured like, here comes a 20-year-old kid who's going to be like, yeah. And you get out and you're like a man. Like he looks like a relief pitcher. You got tattoos and a beard and you're handsome. As I said, I don't know what the topic is, but like expectations are a certain thing where you're like, I'm going to go meet this person and they're way off. I think about that when you were meeting my friend Derek, who's my best friend, and Sarah thought he was like some kind of like alpha dude.
Yeah.
And he's not.
No.
It's really like in your head, you're like, I'm going to meet some
beta.
Just kidding. I know you listen.
Yeah, it's surely not like a rough.
Derek's a pretty alpha name in general. I feel like Derek's
it's close to tough dick.
Yeah, tough guys.
Well, I think I have a range of friends. I have a lot of,
gay ones.
Gay friends.
Yeah.
No, I don't have a lot of gay friends.
Why not?
Because I don't want in my house. Wait, or is he? They'll call on everything.
Crazy.
Just kidding. I was one of those guys. You're just like this. Why are you still friends with anybody? I don't understand.
You are all radiant men.
I know. I feel like the next time you do something wild, I will call the cops on. But it's like, if you want to play prank, I will play prank. Well, bar swatted.
I will show up. Doing part of being swat your ass.
Well, ours is interesting too because I
get like the tunnels. They're Brooklyn.
Sorry, literally. People will literally write to me like, "You gotta stop being friends with this guy. Like, he's a fucking horrible."
Oh, but that brings up a good thing. We always talk about this. Don't you? Sometimes I feel like, especially in comedy, I'd rather be friends with the problematic fun guy than the boring non-problematic. Yeah, you're fun.
That's the very Billy Joel lyric. I'd rather laugh at the sinner than cry at the saints.
Yeah, that's right. But that's true. Yeah. Totally.
Catholic Garland Stalin buzz. We say that on every podcast. I feel like it's good.
I feel like you need the responsible, safe friend who might be a little more boring, at some junction. But you're gravitating towards the fun person. I still want to be on the wrong side of the prank. I don't want peanut butter cups in my bed. I don't want poop nuggets in it. I don't. Yeah.
I've said this to Ari before when we've gone camping or whatever. I don't do that. Yeah. I don't do the fucking, you fell asleep, so we jacked off in your fucking hair. I'm like, that's on me.
Right.
Do that with your friend. Because some people do that. Like those jackass guys, they shave each other's heads. They fuck each other in the ass when they're sleeping or whatever.
And I've established the rules for that.
Yeah. There's got to be some of them that are like, this is horrible. I hate it. The fucking shave the side of your head piece where you have to like just have a different haircut for 6 months.
Or how about like, we've talked about this, the person that feels like they can arrest you out the gate. And you're like, we don't even have that relationship yet.
That person.
Yeah. It makes me furious because as somebody that, by the way, I love, I'm not disparaging jackass. I love it. I just wouldn't want to be part of it. I think it's like Jack, the first Jack is one of the funniest movies in history.
I feel like it would give me anxiety to never know when the prank's coming.
Right.
It's just hardcore.
And I was like feeling I would have a heart attack. Like I could like then get myself to that much of a scared place and anticipating a tase or something.
But wait, what were we talking about? I was about to say
Oh, to roast out the gate.
Oh, yes. But as somebody that loves ball busting, which also there's people that some people ball bust and some people don't, and you just have to navigate which one is which. But yeah, some people do that, and I think as a podcast, there's like a familiarity, which is a word I struggle to say. People think like, oh, hey, Joe List, you fucking cum guzzler piece of shit. And you're like, what?
That's not my
I mean, I was just trying to think something.
But it's just against funny.
But you're like, I met you like 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I had a guy one time that I didn't love my set, and he was like, yeah, it's because you fucking ate it. And I'm like, wait, I'm like actually unhappy with my set, and we met today. And also, you don't shit on people's sets. You shit on their like fucking forehead.
I always feel like in comedy roast, when you're roasting another comic, it doesn't seem like comics go for each other's sets.
No. That's like sort of an unwritten rule.
I feel like female comics get a little around misogyny. I don't know. Like sometimes like, oh, da-da-da, like she had to do, I don't know.
You saw the joke, oh, Ricky.
Yeah, just somebody, I don't know, somebody said something about me once before. It was like my act, and I was like, it was the thing. And you can call me, yeah, like you can call me a whore, you can tell like whatever, but yeah.
I never hear my phone as whore.
Well, yeah, I just like, it doesn't bother me.
If that happens and you're like, all right, well, you've just opened the floodgates for me to rip open your set.
That's my thing. And like the person, a lot of times the person who I said, I'm like, you don't work anywhere.
Well, that's why the weird exists, because it's like now you're opening yourself up to criticism, which is
no one's impervious to that,
right?
Of course, yeah. Even the best comics, ever, you can be like, I can see what you're doing there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do an example there because I'm going to be like, what are you talking about?
But so roast out the gate, like, especially, I mean, not to be say the word civilian, but like, you know, like a person like that, like when you're just coming into a new situation, maybe they don't know what you do or whatever, but that just type of person.
I feel like Joe gets it a lot on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fight back. And they're like, I was just so good at South
Korea. Like, can you sign this? You know,
that's my favorite.
Why did you block me?
That's my favorite thing ever, is because sometimes people always say you shouldn't respond, just ignore it, which, by the way, I have a theory that, and this annoys me too, is that every comic that's like, you can't look at that shit. They do.
Of course they do.
100%.
Yeah, they're probably the biggest offenders.
And it's not bad to once in a while take a gander, have a little spoonful of humble tea.
And you might learn something. Sometimes I've read comments on other comics on YouTube, and I was like, you know, we should listen to that one.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel with this. People are like, you got to stick to the show. I don't know that we're doing it that great, but it's like, people are like, you got to stick to the show, which to me, to respond to that comment of like, you got to keep the show. But I'm like, this is a mental health show from a person who didn't go to college and is a comedian. Like, we're not going to break down the neuroscience here.
Yeah,
we're fucking idiots.
We're doing our best.
Although I'm going to have a neuroscientist on the show very soon. Very excited.
Wow.
I don't know, tease. You're acting like you don't know.
Oh, I kind of don't, right?
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Sarah,
I just I'm on my phone all the time.
it's like you have herpes.
I don't listen.
Are you a baby?
It's my defense mechanism.
What was I had a question I wanted to ask? No, how you in all seriousness, like how do you feel as a female comedian as an experience? Do you feel like it's there's plus and minuses? Do you feel like you're at a massive disadvantage? What's frustrating?
Early in my stand-up career, I started a show and I only booked female comics, and I ran it for like 6 years because I felt like there just logistically was not enough stage time, quality stage time for women. It was just like one. It's a Liam I had every spot. Like when I was starting, it was 5 guys Liam on every like alt show, like every night.
But I always like to push back slightly is that
that's reflective of the ratio of the number.
Ratio. Well, don't just dismiss that. I mean, you surely are aware that it's 60-1 men to women, and this is the most women we've ever had in comedy. I started in fucking 1986. It was like Paul and Pottstown and Wendy Lehman, and literally, if you go to an open mic, there's Which
It's about 20-1 because I used to run on still. Yeah, I used to. Well, I was over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It was 20-1 at the time. It's also like I don't think most female comics want to stay in a condo, a rando condo with cum on sheets.
This is a great point.
Yeah.
Just like basic comfort, like hygienic needs.
And then I were doing a gig in Florida once, and the guy was like, "Hey, can you come to my office?" And it made me so nervous that I just wanted the door open, and it made me feel better that the cocktail waitresses were coming in and out.
well, this is something we've talked about before. Is like that is a huge disadvantage for women. Obviously, it's like, and I think Nikki Glaser said this a long time ago. It's like the only way to like work your way up in the road as a woman is to be independently wealthy, where you can put yourself in hotels.
Yeah.
Because the nature of the business is just you're at a condo with the headliner, and you're just like,
I just lucked out. I've never had like bad experiences like that. Like I just like I don't know, like opening. I opened for like Rich and Bonnie, like those really in Norton. So it's just like nobody was interested in me. I was safe of me. I had like great times. Like and then I guess I'm a little different because once I started OnlyFans, I'm like I'm staying in a nice hotel.
Yeah.
I can afford it while I do this gig that nobody's coming to.
Yeah.
right. But did you, going on stage, like the actual performance part, do you feel the audience thinking, "Oh, great, here we go," or does that not exist anymore? How do you?
I don't get that sense from crowds. I do.
Do you get this though afterwards? You get the feeling that when they're complimentary,
They're surprised.
great.
Yeah, and they're surprised that we were good.
Yeah. They're like, "You were great."
Yeah, yeah, dude.
You have to blame the women of the past who stuck.
Well, I also, this sounds really rude and catty me, but I also feel like the industry can push a lot of dog shit comics.
Dog shit, palatable, trendy, like just living memes.
Because there's some that I'm like on the road and you're like, I do okay. And then I do the road, I'm like, this person must be bombing
But sometimes,
all the time.
Yeah.
but sometimes also to keep it somewhat in the mental health state of ways to like deal with
Yeah.
this is like, what? And then this is very 12-steppy of like, where am I at fault? How can I do things different? Because some of those people, I think, and this is, they just know how to work that angle of it, which is a huge part of this business, which is one of the reasons I'm not further along.
What angle specifically?
Is just the ability, and then this is men and women, like some people just are on the forefront of like social media. Like, and I always talk about this. Like,
Sure.
I was still posting sunset photos like 8 months ago.
I miss them.
Where people were follow Jill's photography. I started aside, but like where people are like doing reels, and I'm going to time it myself as we would in a 12-step and see if everyone else can identify it. But like, I just was like, fuck reels. I'm still on the TikTok currently because I'm like, I hate TikTok. I think it's going to ruin the world. But it's costing me money and selling tickets. And so some of these people, they just know how to, like, when I go to an after festival party, I'm walking up to, you and Big J and all right, Kerryn's here. Where some people are like, oh, there's an agent from UTI. Like, UTA. UTA is what you guys are so freaking right now. But like, so there's that angle.
Seems strange.
Which I talked about before too.
The only industry I get are UTIs.
Maybe this is a good jumping off point to volley back. Everything I just said, I have that in mind. And then also I think about a lot of really successful comedians come from successful families. And I don't mean that they're at an advantage because of that. They're at an advantage because they saw their parents move up in a way and more successful. Whereas you've come from a family that's like, yeah, you get your blue collar job and you make $40,000 a year. It's a nice life. That's how I approach comedy.
I never went to be a balda, like
Exactly.
my English mom being like, I'm like drinking from the vase because she doesn't want to ask what cup she can drink from. Do you know what I mean? Like never being assertive.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a new joke that I do about Sarah's mom. It's just a funny story. But when Sarah's dad died, we went down to mourn, and my mother sent a fruit basket. And Sarah really just never opened it. We were like, why don't you open that? And she's like, that's Joe's. His mother sent it. Like, she thought my mother sent. Like, she just went.
It's like Stephanie, it's for you during this hard time.
But But that's what I mean is like that mentality might hold like you back from being like, hey, I should be on this. Let me ask to be on this.
Right. Yeah, I always struggle, and I notice people who, in my opinion, their ambition far supersedes their talent, and it does like cringe me out. I don't have that in me, that natural instinct to want to chat up an agent, to want to chat up a booker.
Well, my fear is like, I say if I had that skill set and then I get what I want and then I fucking eat it so hard.
Do you want it?
That ain't winning, but I've done it. Just telling you the judge.
But if I just in me. I mean, I do too. I was like, guys, if I had like a jam on a callback one year and I just like interjected this like racist sentence that I had never said ever before in my life.
Yeah.
I was talking about like having a black boyfriend. I was like, speaking of garbage, but and I had never said that before. And I was just called him garbage.
You're in the flow.
I'm like,
I'll take a shit.
So and like that like showcase Kurt Metzger was hosting, and I was going dead last, and he kept calling me the headliner. Like I had never been more psyched out in my head in my life.
Oh, it's awful.
But I mean, so we get like having an opportunity of like bombing, but I don't know. I guess I just feel like I'm too old to try to pretend like I'm a savvy industry person now.
That's how I feel too.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess there's some of that too, but also the thing of whatever it is, learning what the new hot thing is, or the kind of way, a specific way you do crowd work, or whatever it is. Just that thing in you that's like, I work to the time. And we talk on this all the time. There's certain comics who I love that I was, alcoholism didn't help all three of us for sure. But like, and we're drinking because we're fearful or insecure or whatever. But I remember my friend being like, no, I just headline now. And he was like 24 years old. And I was like, what?
No, mine's like, you have to feature for 10 years.
Yeah.
Before you're able to headline.
Yeah, I never thought like, no, I don't do it.
I live by arbitrary rules that some older comic just put their bullshit onto us.
Yeah, and like younger people too. People are so full of shit. I see people all the time. Like, oh, I don't do that anymore. I used to do this. I used to do that. It's like, you have like 3,000 YouTube subscribers. Shut up.
Yeah.
But I think some people have a deep sense of belonging, and I deserve this, and this is where I should be. I guess it's self-esteem, for lack of a better word.
Yeah,
it's like
it's not funny.
It's not funny.
It's not.
There's like ego and self-esteem where like
it's a comic full of themselves. Like, you're not funny.
Yeah, fuck you. Well, I am the same thing. Like, to me, it's like that's a good quality, is to think of yourself as a piece of shit who's not worthy of it. Yeah, to me, that's like
you think this so badly of yourself. I'd be honest with yourself. Like, listen, my mind is never gonna work the way that Gary Goldman's does. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm gonna ever be a wordsmith. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think being honest with yourself is okay. I'd rather be honest with myself than be deluded.
Yeah.
Right, but there's somewhere in between where it's like, maybe you're not even that kind of comic, but you're a very good comic who's worthy of success, I think. But maybe you don't think that.
Some days. I go back and forth. Some days I think
like, not we're dissecting Goldman's act, but I feel like you're really great off the fly. And maybe that's why his strength is wordsmith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, different.
He's just like an example. And I have a bunch of them. So I watch people and like their brains are so different from mine.
Yeah. It's very intimidating. Sometimes you're like, oh, that's great. Lights dog shit.
We were talking about this last night. I mean, we were watching Young Cows, that guy Lucas
McCreary.
I'm watching that guy and I'm like, well, this guy's funnier than I am. Like, as like the way he does.
And if they're younger, and then I'm like, oh my God, it makes me feel terrible.
Yeah, and then what the stuff that they're talking about, their humor, you're like, that's not what other people are doing.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I'm just talking about my wife or my husband.
Right.
Yeah, well, like I'm watching this kid. He's 20 years old. He's got like a mullet. He's young.
So confident up there. So comfortable.
And he's killing. And then the switch goes off. I'm like, hopefully he runs out of material.
Yeah.
I don't have to delete it in Markel's not key shit. I had more material. Yeah. Or like, let's see him do 3 hours in 4 years. I mean, that would be something. But I'm watching it like, and then the next kid comes up. The next he comes out, and he's 24 years old, and he's fucking murdering, doing this totally different, unique stuff. And then I'm just like, well, I'll just kill myself. I don't know. And then, by the way, I go up on my set and just blow the room apart. And like, there's room for all of us.
Yeah, you killed Joe.
Well, you know what's interesting? There's times where I've been massively jealous of like comics, like especially like female comics, and it just feels like we're competing for the same spot.
Mm-hmm.
And then over the years, since I've been in it a while, I don't think any of those girls that I was jealous of are in the business anymore.
Yeah, it's like they'll have these hot weeks where they're like getting stuff that you wanted to get, and then they can just disappear.
Yeah. Or they end up being movies.
Yeah, they disappear because they have fucking good sitcoms. They're like, I just didn't do the funny bone anymore.
No, you're talking about that in 7. It's so hard hiding that your jealousy dissipates because you're like, yeah, that's just different than what's going on with me mentally.
When I see people succeeding when they're in their 20s too, I always just pull out my alcohol card in my head. It's like you could barely brush your teeth in your 20s.
Yeah,
these people have Netflix specials.
And you're like, that's not the road you're on. You're just different life. And if
It was muddy.
I had this my road may be lonely, but that's because it's not paved.
What was that cost?
Any better. Similar.
Oops, grunge band, guys.
But I always use this as an example because I started when I was 18, and I had all this. I was very talented, and then like years later, I saw John Mulaney, and I was like, oh man, I could have fucking had that. I could have been that guy.
You were on coke.
Well, then years later, you're like, oh, his life is. I'm not disparaging his personal life. Oh, it's like that thing of like, oh, I'm doing better than him now on a personal level. Certainly not nearly as successful or as talented, frankly.
Well, that's what I took from the special. Was like, I should have been doing more blow.
Totally. I'm blow. I was doing blow when I was like waiting tables. I should have been like, Regent. I'm missing my earlier. I totally did. But I was up saying balderdash and my friends.
Mulaney was a great example of that for me too, because I've told this story before. Maybe I was told it to Sarah, but I got asked to feature for him at Bananas. This is like in 2007, and the show was Liz Miele, me, and John Mulaney. We're all the same age, and so Liz was emceeing, I was featuring, and he was headlining. And I remember being like, talking to Dan Balder, my roommate. Balder was like, oh man, he's like my favorite comic. And I was like, I'm going to fucking eat his line. I'm going to blow him off stage. And so I was like, I'm going to fucking bury this guy. I'm like, I've been doing comedy. And like, oh, this is crazy. How is he headlining? He's young. He started after me. And then I did my set, whatever, did well, killed. And then like 5 minutes in, I'm like, this is my favorite comedian.
Yeah.
Like, it's the best comedian I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. And so you just go, oh, I just have to let go of that. Shane Hills is another one too. It's like, you're like, oh, fuck this guy. He thinks he's hot or whatever. And then like a year later, you're like, this man is on another level of worldly talent. And then you just become like happy for a person.
Yeah.
Well, you're
happy to be a fan of theirs.
Yeah.
And you're friends with them too. It's cool.
Yeah. Which I was
the two to something if you are.
Yeah. It's just enough before they come.
So we're talking about a specific person. What are we doing? But I was gonna say something, and Sarah's alluding to Sunday off from the friends.
Sorry, I'm done. You're right.
But yeah, then that's what I was gonna talk about. It's a weird feeling, and I've mentioned this many places too. Like when you first start doing comedy, your favorite comics are your peers. Your peers are fucking shitty old micers.
Yeah.
And so then you go on to meet your favorite comic. I become friends with Louis C.K. and Nick DiPaolo and Greg Giraldo. Friendly with Greg. I wouldn't say friends, and then later, your friends and peers become your favorite comedians. Like now, Nate Bargatze and Shane Gillis are my favorite, and Sam Morrell, like my favorite comedians. And all of them started after me. And we're just peers, but I'm like, well, you're my favorite comedian and my buddy. Yeah. That's a weird feeling.
Yeah, I just hate all the female comics.
Yeah,
my jealousy dissipates when I see a joke that I was like, that's a really good joke.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You know,
Like,
those people.
where you're like, oh, I get jealous where you're like, I wish that was mine. But I get more jealous of someone that I'm like, I don't find them funny and they're getting success.
Yeah, that's like a different emotion.
Yeah.
Jealousy. Like I'm like genuinely jealous. Like I'm envious of like Lori Kilmartin. Like can like write and like she's so talented. Yeah, but like boom, that I see somebody who I may not deem necessarily deserving of whatever opportunity they got. That's a different feeling than like a jealous.
So yes, one's healthy, one's, I don't know. That's not how I would describe it.
But also, it's funny. Again, this is where like fucking my gay mindfulness stuff comes in. It's like, so if you break it down, you're like, I am jealous of a person who I think sucks. I like. It's like, oh, I wish I could suck and get stuff, and then have everyone time about how I don't deserve that stuff.
But that does make me feel better because there's times where I get jealous and then I'm like, but would I want to do their act? And then I'm like, no, it would hurt my soul to do their bits.
Yeah. Also, there's people who like get stuff, and they're satisfied with like a level of like killing that like is sometimes just like above average. Like,
Yeah.
dude, it's like wow,
golf clap.
yeah, and they're like, oh, no. I'm just like, I don't like. I think we're chasing a different beast.
Yeah, so we shouldn't be jealous, and
I don't know how to fix it.
I think through mindfulness, gratitude.
It is. If I'm not on social media and I'm just working on my life, then I'm not so
Sam, social media does it to us.
But it's like, again, it's like
brutal. Sometimes I'll be so happy and then I'm like, let me just go on social media. And then it's like almost the algorithm knows what to get you with. And then you're like, it's ruined a vacation for me before where I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, it's always really cringe. Well, I think it's that, and that's what they say. Again, I keep going back to 12-step program. It's like it's a daily reprieve. It's like we wake up fearful and angry and jealous. It's like you have to actively work against that through gratitude, through mindfulness, exercise, meditation, and realizing none of that is helping. There's nothing that's helping. And again, it's like whoever you're jealous of, if they died in that car wreck, it's not like all of a sudden your life would improve. Or if they stopped getting spots, it's like maybe there's a moment of like, yes, but you're like, oh wait, I'm still exactly wherever you
go. It's like I'm not next to the line to host after midnight.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, I'm fine with that. And also, I don't think I would want to do stadiums. That sounds like a night. I can't even
Just
get it.
acoustically. I don't think I would enjoy it.
Yeah, like I don't remember that. There's one pocket at the old stand I can never get people to shut up because it'd be like this dark corner where they would have no accountability of talking.
Yeah, I'd always see that.
And the idea of doing like a stadium, like there's 10, like hundreds of people getting up to get drinks and go to the bathroom and moving around.
The disrespect.
Yeah.
Well, then you have like, going back to like Shane, it's like you rewind like whatever it was, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, Shane gets SNL. And that's never been something I was longing for, so I wasn't jealous. But if you're like, oh, what? He got SNL? I want SNL. And then 10 minutes later, like, here he is saying all the worst stuff. You're like, you know what? I don't want any success, actually, because I've said some pretty wild shit. So you're like, maybe this is exactly where I want to be or whatever.
Yeah.
But I never want to have to like box myself or change myself in order to be successful.
I couldn't do it. Where like I had that with waiting tables. I never cared to like make money. I just wanted people not to be mad at me.
Yeah, that's how I.
And I was always like, this is so crazy that you're like your livelihood depends on this, and I'm just like, whatever. If you don't want it, don't get it.
Well, yeah, but and they would be so willing to make fools of themselves, like the high sellers. Like when I worked at Sushi Sound, like tonight's special to do, I'll be going. Like yay, I'm not doing this. We'll give you that 6-person table. Oh my god, guys. Really, guys, I won't believe the fish that's coming out of the pipe this morning. Shut up.
But this is exactly what we're talking about. This is why you're not successful. I'm successful. But when you did just perfectly sell it. I feel that way.
Motivated.
I feel like my career.
Artistic choices.
But when you said it though, it's like how I felt. It's like I just wanted no one mad at me. I'm still like that at Comedy Mothership. I'm showing up being like, hey, my name is Joe, a comedian. Sorry, I'll be over here. And instead of being like, I'm the headliner, fuck off. Give me my drinks and I'm going upstairs.
Yeah, but that's you. You wouldn't be happy if you behaved that way.
No, I'm not saying I should behave that way, but it's the feeling of like, I belong here. That breeds more success. Whereas in my life, I'm like, I'm so sorry. I hope this is okay. And I'll just be quiet over here.
I think there's something to be said for people who don't cause problems and are just like easy to work with.
That's true. Because have you ever like go on social media and then you see that Madonna's in her closet
Right, for 2 hours, sees her shit, and the the plumbing has to be changed or whatever.
and then you're like, she's probably only an incredibly lonely person at her love. Like, go with your friends.
Yeah.
Where I feel like you have like a nice group of friends that you create for friends, family life and all that.
Yeah.
You're nourished.
You're nourished. Yeah.
No, I feel, I have a great work-life balance and the family. And even when we're working, I feel like we had a whole family. We have a great time.
Yeah.
Always, it was fun. Well, we drove up for Thanksgiving. Did you come up with this?
That's right.
Yes.
And we were talking about Mothership, and then you were like, "Oh, I got to get back there," and I was like, "Come with us." And now here we are. We interrupted. We made it happen.
No,
We got to wrap up. Kerryn, tell everybody where your stuff is and all that stuff.
Follow me on Instagram. I don't know when you're dropping this.
I think Thursday.
Okay, February
Crazy. Can you send
16th.
this to somebody and we can? Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's Friday. Oh yeah. Great. Yeah. Thursday.
So February 16th, I will be at the Anchor Rock Club in Atlantic City. And then I have I'm going to Lafayette, Louisiana, February 29th.
Do you JP Lens Club?
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's in town.
Okay.
Go get a po' boy at Old Time Grocery. I love po' boy.
Be
So
careful.
good.
Lafayette around there.
They're drinkers.
It's
Really?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
They're fine.
No, you're gonna get abducted.
Oh, we're doing around large options.
Yeah.
Damn. That's like cooling your muscles, but kind of gross for a woman.
Yeah. Beta guys think that.
Oh
Yeah.
Now,
what's the podcast? Did you want to
OnlyFans, check it out. YouTube. These guys have both been guests. Check out OnlyFans, please.
At one point, I had the most viewed episode, and then you had fucking Soda on the next week, and then Norm the week after. I got buried.
Falls up. Nice one for the OnlyFans podcast.
That's upsetting. Sarah, tell what the things, all the stuff.
I have a new special coming out. So subscribe to my YouTube channel. And then we have Lady Journey podcast. It's lady shit.
Sarah Keating. I think people, fans of this show, would enjoy that show.
Yeah, we're talking about kind of like the minutia of life situations.
Yeah.
All the bullshit that we get into.
So check that out. Get excited for the new special. Unpumped. I was there. Sarah fucking ripped and looked smoking hot. I see the footage and I'm like, whoa.
Bazooba.
And then, of course, subscribe to this show. Tell a friend. Spread the word. Post it on Reddit and all the shit. And just tell people to watch the show, word of mouth. And I'm at the Regent Theater, Los Angeles, May 2nd. And I don't know, a bunch of dates. Go to punchuplive.com. You want to punch up live? You guys go to punch up live.
Okay, so now
I'll see you
Friday.
Get on
YouTube.
Sounds like it's just for guys.
Get on there. Thanks for listening to the show. Be kind to yourself, and we appreciate it. And I hope you had fun and the show was good. And thank you, Justin.
Thank you.